Okay, just picture this for a second. You're out in the ocean, paddling on your surfboard. Everything's calm, the sun's on your back, and then you see it, way out on the horizon. A dark line, and it's getting bigger and bigger. A massive set of waves is coming right at you, and you know there's absolutely nowhere to go. What happens in that split second? Well, it's not really a choice, is it? It's a reaction.
Right. Your heart just starts hammering against your ribs. Your breath catches in your throat. That's your body's ancient, hardwired survival code just taking over. So today, we're going to break down that primal fear response, and I'm going to show you how, with a little know-how and some practice, you can actually learn to hack it.
So, first things first, before we can even think about controlling this feeling, we have to understand it. What is this thing that completely takes over when we even think we're in danger? Well, it's an automatic survival mechanism that's been built into our DNA for thousands and thousands of years. Now, did you catch the key word in that definition? Anticipation. That's the one. See, fear isn't just about what's happening right now. It's so often a response to a perceived threat. I mean, sure, that giant wave is very real, but the story your mind starts telling you about it, the panic, the worst case scenarios, that's usually where the real trouble starts. And this is absolutely crucial. That first jolt of fear kicks off a stress response, right? But then that stress feeds the fear, which ramps up the stress, and all of a sudden the situation feels way, way more dangerous than it actually is. It's this vicious feedback loop that can send you spiraling from a manageable challenge into pure blinding panic. So, what is actually going on at a biological level? Let's pop the hood and take a look at what's happening inside that surfer's body as the wave gets closer. It's basically a full system code red mobilization for survival. You know, your nervous system really has two main settings. You've got the sympathetic system, that's your gas pedal. It's the fight or flight response that just floods your body with adrenaline and gets you ready for action. And then you have the parasympathetic system. That's your brake. That's the rest and recover mode that calms you down, slows things down, and saves energy. In that moment of panic, that gas pedal is just slammed to the floor. And there's a name for this whole process, by the way. It's called an emotional hijacking, or an amygdala hijack. Think of your amygdala as your brain's smoke detector. The second it senses danger, real or imagined, it just pulls the fire alarm. And when it does that, it basically shuts down the logical, rational part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, so you can have those lightning-fast instinctual reactions. So what does that hijack actually feel like? Well, your heart is pounding in your chest. Your pupils get wider to let more light in. Your breathing gets all fast and shallow. All your muscles get super tense, ready to either fight or run. You're not really thinking anymore. You are pure, unadulterated reaction. Okay, so it kind of seems like we're just helpless passengers in our own bodies, right? Just victims of this automatic freakout. Well, not exactly. And this is the most powerful part of this whole thing. You can learn to consciously grab the steering wheel back from your amygdala. Look, as a surfer, you can't fight a wave. It's just pointless. The only way to survive is to flow with its energy. The exact same idea applies to what's going on inside you. You can't just fight the fear head on. It's too strong. The trick is to skillfully activate your body's other system, that parasympathetic rest and recover mode. And the master key to doing that? It's your breath. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is the tool you can use. It's a specific breathing sequence designed to slam on the brakes. Now, ideally, you want to do this all through your nose because it's even more powerful that way. So it goes like this. You inhale into your diaphragm for 2 seconds. Hold it for 1 second. Then a long, slow exhale for 5 seconds. And then hold with your lungs empty for 2 seconds before you start again. Now, the real magic here, it all happens during that long exhale. A slow, controlled exhale is a direct message to your brain to hit the brakes. It actually stimulates something called the vagus nerve, which is like the main superhighway for your parasympathetic nervous system, basically telling your entire body, hey, it's okay, you're safe, you can calm down now. And here's something that might surprise you. This isn't about trying to load up on oxygen before you go under. It's really about calming your internal rhythm and, get this, increasing your tolerance for carbon dioxide. You know that desperate feeling when you're underwater of, I have to breathe now? That's not a lack of oxygen talking. It's your body panicking because of rising CO2 levels. By practicing this breathing, you're teaching your brain that that feeling isn't a death sentence. But of course, this isn't some magic trick you just pull out of a hat in the middle of a crisis. No way. It is a skill. And just like any other skill, it takes training.
You have to prepare your nervous system for chaos before you're actually in it. This whole idea is based on a really cool biological principle called hormesis. The idea is pretty simple, actually. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. By exposing yourself to small, manageable doses of stress, like, say, holding your breath for just a little longer than is comfortable but in a totally safe setting, you teach your body how to adapt. You make it more resilient. It's really all about conditioning, kind of like Pavlov and his famous dogs. You know, he taught them to salivate just at the sound of a bell. Well, right now, most of us are conditioned to panic at that feeling of rising CO2. The feeling itself is neutral, but we've learned to associate it with danger. The whole point of the training is to break that association. So what this practice really does is recondition your response. That urgent need to breathe no longer sets off a 5-alarm fire in your brain. Instead, it just becomes a piece of information, a signal you can look at calmly, because you know you have more time and more control than your instincts are screaming at you. The meaning of that discomfort literally changes from danger to just awareness. And when you start to put all of this together, you understand the mechanism, you have the tool, and you've put in the training, something really incredible starts to happen. You completely transform your relationship with fear itself. I absolutely love this quote. The chaos of the ocean, it doesn't change. The waves are just going to be what they're going to be. The only thing that changes is you. When you are internally chaotic and panicked, the ocean feels like this huge, scary threat. But when you are internally calm and in control, the ocean becomes this powerful, readable environment that you can actually work with. Every single time you use these techniques to face down a challenge, you are literally expanding your comfort zone. The line that used to mark where panic started gets pushed further and further out. And what used to be a terrifying red line experience, that becomes your new zone for peak performance and growth. In the end, this isn't really just about surfing, is it? We all have those giant waves in our lives. A big presentation at work, a really difficult conversation, a personal challenge that feels overwhelming. The question is, when that wave starts building on your horizon, are you going to let the amygdala hijack take over? Or are you going to remember to take control? So, what's your wave, and how are you going to breathe through it?